Star point guard Ben Simmons has been suspended 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. The Philadelphia 76ers announced Tuesday that means Simmons will be out for the Sixers opener in New Orleans tonight. Simmons was thrown out of practice Tuesday by Coach Doc Rivers for not being engaged in practice. Woj reporting that lack of participation and engagement by Simmons at practice has been a theme. Okay, gentlemen. Tim Legler, Stephen A. Smith, I think you know a thing or two about Philly. Legs, I'll start with you. What impact will Ben Simmons have on the Sixers?
Well, listen, right now, the Philadelphia 76ers have put themselves in a position where this is not going to end well for them any way you slice it. Because to me, there's 3 options. First option is continue to suspend him as long as his attitude stays in this place and keep him away from the team, fine him, bleed him out, try to flush him out financially, whatever you're going to do. That's not a great option because, number one, it's a major distraction. Number two, you just took an all-star caliber talent off the floor and you didn't replace him with anything.
Right.
So that's not obviously a good option. Right? Next option, you do what I said, which is squeeze him financially, force him back to the court, which it seems like what they're trying to do right now. And you end up with a guy that you know is only there for the money. He is not invested emotionally in winning and losing. He has lost the respect of the guys in that locker room. He is probably not going to be fully committed even in terms of his body language and his effort and whatever. Well, you can't win if that's the case either. That's impossible for Doc Rivers to navigate that. Option 3, you move him. Now, the problem is right now they seem like their resolve is we aren't doing that because we're not getting back what we want right now, which we think is a young, perennial, all-star caliber player. All right. So those are the 3 options. None of them are good for Philadelphia, so it's going to dramatically impact their team until this gets resolved and Ben Simmons is gone. Now, let me back up for a second. Stephen A., the day after the Atlanta series ended, the very next day, I went on the air and I said right then, and I knew wherever you were, if you were watching, you were going to co-sign it, okay? Because I said he can't ever play in Philly again, okay? And the reason is this. What you can't do in that market, ever, show fear.
Absolutely.
Doubt, hesitation, fear of failure, whatever it was that it was going on. He had some wiring issues, man, going on between the ears. And it was a lot more than the one play that we keep showing. It was the entire series. He didn't take a shot in 5 fourth quarters as a starting point guard, okay?
Scared to death.
Everyone saw it. He was exposed on a level that few athletes are. And in that market, it's not survivable. It's just not, because here's what's going to happen. Even if Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid didn't make the comments the next day, which seems to be what led to this point, okay? Felt like he was thrown under the bus. They didn't have my back. I want out. Made it personal. Even if that didn't happen, I think Ben Simmons knew he played there for 4 years. I can't run back out into Wells Fargo based on what they just saw, because that's going to resurface again at some point. And they're going to start in the fans, the media, and they're never going to let up next time. Ben knew that. Now, he can use those comments as an excuse. When you add it all up, he made it clear. I can't play there. Better for me not to be there. Better for you to not have me there. They didn't take it into account, Stephen A. I put it more on the Sixers. You had to be more aware. It was going to get here. It was going to get here. It was inevitable. And they allowed it to now permeate the season.
Here's where I disagree with you. And you're not wrong when you say, for the most part, I would have co-signed. Here's what I was thinking, though. The performance was so pathetic in that series against Atlanta that he had to come back to try to make amends at some point until he was moved. Because you were going to have an abundance of executives on opposing teams using that against them to try to hose the Sixers out of a big-time product like him for 20 cents on the dollar. And I get that from the Sixers because that's the verbiage they use, 20 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar. You know how it is, and that's what they say. And I said, you got to get more, because I believe this brother he could average 75% from the free throw line, and this brother could average 25 a game. If he had any kind of perimeter shot, I'm talking about 10 feet, 15 feet, this dude could be like LeBron James 2.0, because I think his skill set, ball handling skills, passing ability, playmaking ability, finishing at the basket, and the defensive prowess, I think makes him that lethal. You can't let him go for nothing or something close to nothing. You can't do that. So if you're the Sixers, where did they mishandle it? They mishandled it because they didn't convince him to come back while committing to trading him. They tried, some people say they tried to strong him. You got a contract, got 4 years, $147 million left on your deal. You got to come back here. We'll move you. We'll move you. Just work with us so we can get you up out of here. They should have done that. Why didn't they do that? Could it be because everybody's not on the same page? Because everybody's been pointing to, we looking at Doc Rivers. You know what ticks me off about this? Doc Rivers ain't running the 76ers franchise. That would happen to be Daryl Morey. I actually thought Elton Brand was doing a good job. I don't know why they felt they needed Daryl Morey. But nevertheless, Daryl Morey has a damn good reputation as an executive, okay? So you bring him to Philadelphia. We ain't heard anything from him. Why not? You the one that got to move him. You the one that got to get on the phone and you got to approve these deals. Sixers ownership is coming to you. Where the hell is Daryl Morey in all of this? We got to find out. Because to me, his thinking is where all of this comes. And here's the reason why it's so important, Molly. And Tim knows this. It's not because of just getting guys that we look at and we say we could play, he can play. Daryl Morey's a different beast. He likes a particular kind of player.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's not
What
always, you averaging a trip. Like, for example, Russell Westbrook. You could have had Russell. I'm not saying you could, but hypothetically, you could have had Russell Westbrook. Nope, not for Daryl Morey. That's not what he wants. And he had him in Houston, but that's not Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey wants somebody that can light it up from long range. He's like the executive version of D'Antoni. He wants a James Harden. He wants a Damian Lillard. He doesn't want just anybody. And so as a result of that, that's what makes it hard. That might have influenced Ben Simmons' just dogged approach to all of this, knowing how Daryl Morey could be because he's repped by Rich Paul, who clearly knows how Daryl Morey could be. And that may have played a role. Either way you slice it, no, the Sixers didn't handle this in pristine fashion. But I ultimately hold the level of accountability to Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons did something that was absolutely unforgivable. You messed up, and it looks like you pointing the finger at them. Whether you are or not is not the issue. It looks like you're pointing the finger at the city of Philadelphia. And as Tim just alluded to, we know how Philadelphia could be even when Philadelphia might be wrong. And God help you if they're right, which they are.
On top of it all, he's not even catching the break the Eagles are winning right now. Okay?
That's right.
They're angry in the city of Philadelphia, okay? And they look at a guy that got his money.
Yep.
Because Tobias Harris said something that I completely disagreed with. And I understand he was trying to put a positive spin on it. He said, players understand business. When he walks back in the door, business. This isn't business. This isn't business. I played with guys that held out, star players, okay? Because they thought they were underpaid.
Right.
Players do get that because you say to yourself, hell, that could be me next time.
That's right.
I get that.
That's right.
That's not what this is.
This
is
Simmons.
Personal.
Right.
Personal. He has made it clear. Who are the two most important people in the organization? Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid, in my opinion.
That's right.
He made it clear. I don't want to play for you, and I want to play with you.
That's right.
And he told them.
And
they flew out to his house, and he told them right to their face.
To their face.
And this is why I hold them accountable, Stephen A. They still, unless you're saying, they knew all along, like, okay, I know where he's at. That's not going to change. But we still got to end up with the deal we want. So we're going to allow this. Yes. But I'm saying if they listen to the man,
this is great.
They would have
I'm
moved.
sorry, I have to get into commercial break though, guys. But riveting conversation still to come here on First Take. The bearded one, James Harden, spoke about his impending free agency. Do you believe what you hear from him? That sound in just a bit. Plus, go New York, go New York, go. Stephen A. at the Mecca tonight.